Samuel. We're talking about a guy who literally shaped an entire nation. But, his story doesn't kick off with big battles or fancy crowns. Nope. It all starts much smaller, with a quiet, almost desperate prayer. So, that really brings us to the core question here, doesn't it? How on earth does one single boy grow up to become a kingmaker? I mean, someone who completely changes the path of his people's history. And the craziest part? The answer actually starts before he was even born. You see, Samuel's story is kind of special. It's not really about him at first, it's about his mother, Hannah, and this incredible moment of faith she has. And this right here, this is the heart of it all. It really hits you, right? Before there was any prophet, before there was a judge leading the nation, there was just a mother. A mother pouring her heart out in a desperate prayer for a son. This single moment is the spark that lights the whole fire. So you have his parents, Hannah and Elkanah. They had been waiting and praying for a child for such a long time. So when Samuel was finally born, it wasn't just, a happy family moment. It was seen as an absolute miracle, a direct, powerful answer to his mom's prayer. And Hannah, she's a woman of her word. She keeps the promise she made to God. She dedicates this son she waited so long for to a life of service. And it's right there, in that life of service, that something absolutely extraordinary happens. So picture this. From the time he's just a little kid, Samuel is living and serving in the temple. He's got the high priest Eli as his mentor. He's just learning the ropes, learning about faith, about his duties. He has absolutely no idea what's coming, that a much, much bigger destiny is waiting just around the corner. And then it happens. The moment that changes absolutely everything. In the middle of the night, a voice calls his name. Samuel? He thinks it's just Eli, so he runs to him. You called? But Eli says no. This happens again, and a third time. Finally, the penny drops for Eli. He realizes this isn't him calling. This is something else entirely. It's divine. So he tells Samuel exactly what to do. And when that voice calls out a fourth time, the young boy is ready. He answers, "Speak, your servant is listening." And that night, well, that was the beginning of everything. From that point forward, Samuel starts growing into this incredible divine authority, and he eventually steps into one of the most powerful roles in the whole nation. He becomes the judge of Israel. Now, it's really important we get what judge actually meant back then. We hear that word and think of a courtroom, right? But this was so much more. A judge was the ultimate leader. They were a military commander, a spiritual guide, and the person holding all the different tribes together. It was literally the highest office in the land before they had kings. And here's the kicker. Samuel was the last one. He was the last of the judges. So his time in that role wasn't just about his own career, it was the end of a whole chapter for Israel. You can think of him as this crucial bridge, connecting the old era of scattered tribes to the new era of a unified kingdom that was right on the horizon. And you can really see his leadership style in action. Like, after this huge victory, what does he do? He sets up a stone. He calls it Ebenezer, which means stone of help. It was this physical, tangible reminder for everyone of God's help. See, he wasn't just some politician. His main goal was to bring the nation together around their shared faith. But Samuel's impact went way beyond just his own time as a leader. He really becomes this pivotal figure who sets the entire stage for the next generation. He's the one directly shaping the destinies of the people who came after him. Seriously, when you look at all the big events and all the major players from this period, Samuel is like the spider in the middle of the web. He's connected to everyone. His life story is completely intertwined with this whole cast of characters that define this entire era. I mean, just think about it for a second. His story starts with his parents, Hannah and Elkanah. Then there's the old guard he essentially replaces, Eli and his two corrupt sons, Hophni and Phinehas. And of course, most famously, he's connected to the two kings he anoints, Israel's very first king, Saul, and then Saul's successor, the legendary King David. So you can see this incredible journey, right? It's this complete arc. He goes from being a child who was literally prayed into existence to a little boy serving in a temple, and then to the man who holds divine authority and has the power to anoint and unanoint kings. It's an amazing transformation. Okay, so what does this all add up to? What's the big takeaway from his life? What did Samuel actually leave behind? Well, his legacy, it's nothing short of nation defining. You can kind of break it down into a few key things. First, he was a deeply respected prophet. Second, he was the last and probably most influential judge. Third, he was the original kingmaker, the one who anointed both Saul and David. But when you put all that together, it really means one thing. He was the guy who transformed the nation, who guided Israel from one era into the next. And that brings us right back to where we started, to that big question. Samuel's life is just this incredible answer to it. It really leaves you with something to think about, doesn't it? Just how much world changing impact can come from the most humble, the most prayerful, and the most unexpected of beginnings.